Happy Carl, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now we go to the embargoed section. So those of you streaming, those of you doing anything that you're doing, if you could cease, I'll just do this to make it clear that we are now in an embargoed section. So everything that's said from here on in is for 10:30 p.m. this evening. 10:30 p.m. this evening, which is Tuesday. So in order, we've got Andy Hunter, Dave Maddock and Dom King. Anyone else, give us a shout. But we'll kick off with Andy Hunter from The Guardian, please. Andy, to start our embargo section.
Hi, Jurgen. I was just going to ask about the logistics of this game and whether it's been more complicated to prepare for than, obviously, you played at home and your away games have been nearby. I was just wondering, with the situation at the minute, whether this throws up new difficulties for you to prepare.
Yeah, it was when we heard about the fixtures. It was tough. It's tough for everybody, but of course, if you get your fixtures, you don't look on where do the others play and stuff like this. So it's tough. And each day you have more rest between the games would make, for example, a main difference. So now we played. This is the third game in always 3 days. So you have between the games only 2 days, which is actually the edge. Should not. We know, probably you know, when we had around Boxing Day these kind of fixtures where we play pretty much 48 hours after the last game, that makes absolutely no sense and will never make sense. I stick to the opinion that's a crime, but 3 days is kind of okay. And it's not a problem the first day, like the Crystal Palace game. No, now the Aston Villa game, exactly Aston Villa game after City. So the next game is a problem, and then the next game after that is a problem as well. So from intensity point of view, but now traveling on top of that, we didn't know. We didn't know when we got the fixtures how the country will be in that time. So, but still we had to plan, and I think we got now we found a hotel where we can sleep overnight. We had to make a decision: do we go on the match day? But Brighton is not around the corner, especially the airport is not around the corner. So it would have meant we travel really a lot. So we decided we do it like we would do it in the middle of the season, whenever it is, and fly there today and train tomorrow morning and do the stuff. So it should be okay. But then, of course, coming back in the middle of the night and playing a few hours later again against Burnley. But Burnley has, I think, exactly the same situation there in London against West Ham, if I'm right, tomorrow night, and play us then. So it's not easier for them or easier for us. It's just tough for all of us. And the logistics are really difficult. In and around the stadiums, I think it's, meanwhile, really good. Everybody's used to everything, and we can deal with the situation. So far, the dressing rooms were brilliant, how the other teams set it up. So that's all okay. Yeah, it's different, and I pretty much can't wait until it's like it was before, but it's absolutely okay.
Thanks, Andy. Dave Maddock, if you could, there you go.
Jurgen, I'm just thinking about the logistics, and you look at the gap between the seasons, and it's going to be so small. Will that give you any opportunity to let the players have a break, or will you just have to continue? And on that, will you be able to use any of these games, as it's so intense, as a kind of preparation for next season?
That makes no sense to use these games as kind of preparation for next season, because everything will be different. And yes, we will have a break, 100%. How long it will be, I don't know. We still wait really because we have to plan the preseason. We really wait for the moment when somebody tells us this is the starting date, and then we deal with it. We cannot will then not make a massive discussion of it. But we have anyway no influence. We take the dates like they are. Yeah, that's no. The players will have a short break, and we will have a hopefully then short preseason. That depends to when we start, but that's it. And again, for pretty much all the team the same, apart from the teams who are still in Europe. That's I don't know exactly how they will sort that. If you play, I think if City goes through to the Champions League final, and that's end of August if I'm right, and that's really tough then. And all United and Chelsea and Wolves, they're all still in Europe. So that's really tough. For us, it's already tough, but I think we can deal with it because we cannot start before the other teams have finished. So it will probably be September, I guess. We don't know when we start again. And there's this period we will use for break and preseason. That's how it is. Okay. Can the others, by the way, see David's sweatshirt? Can you see it as well? Or is it only for me?
No.
I'm literally a communist is on it. Just have big letters. Maybe if you want to have as a message, then everybody should know it. Not.
Lovely. Dom King, we're not taking questions on that. Dom?
Okay. I was just wondering about Adam Lallana. He's not been in any squads yet. Will he play for you again this season, do you think? Or will you mind him given what's coming on the future for him?
Yeah, look, Adam is... oh my God! It's clear that Adam will leave the club in the summer, or if it's still summer, hopefully, or if the summer starts at any time. And if you now ask me about him, I miss already everything about him. In this moment, and he's still here. So he's an outstanding player. He's one of the most influential players on the training quality I ever had in my life. He's an incredible professional. But now we have a difficult situation. So and I respect that a lot. And we have everything with Adam is sorted. Let me say like this: he's top fit. He's in training. Everything is fine. But yes. The future is his future, and if we need his help on the pitch, we can get it. He's there and trains 100%, but as long as we don't need it, he will just train, and that's the normal thing. I think there were a lot of discussions about player with ending contracts. Here was not even a discussion. It was clear, we extend Adam's contract, and he wants to do that as well, but we will not put any risk on his future or whatever. That's absolutely clear. So he is one of the most important players of the time since I'm here. And so I wish him only the best for the future. And from my point of view, he is already a legend here. So he can now start becoming a legend somewhere else from next season on.
Okay. Chris Baskin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don. We go to Chris Baskin and Paul Joyce to finish. Chris.
Hi Jurgen. Yeah, I suppose I think if you asked a lot of people what your first choice team would be, there might be maybe one or, without exception, maybe one or two changes in there. People pretty much would agree. So whilst there's been all this talk with the young players, isn't this time particularly meaningful for the likes of Divock and Ox and Minamino to really take that step where they might be considered, if you were coming to the biggest game, you would put them in? Because last thing I want to sound is critical. You just won the league. It's been a squad game, but you know what I mean. There's always sometimes a feeling that when you change from your, for example, the world-class front three, the drop is noticeable. And I just wondered, it was just about that really. What you thought of that observation?
Look, you can be critical. It's no problem. You will be critical in the future. 100%. I can tell you today already. But look, it's not so nice in life, but it's normal that people forget so quick. So we saw now a game against Aston Villa in the most difficult circumstances. After a very difficult period in our life, stuff like this. We played against Barcelona, for example, with made a lot of changes in this game. I played an outstanding game, one of the best games this team ever played. And whatever your first 11 is, I don't know exactly, but I think I have an idea. These boys did all the job. But on a day when the team is not performing on the highest level, when the pitch is dry like the Sahara and the wind is blowing like madness, like you are on a ship out there on the sea, then it's really difficult to make an impression. So if we have a lack of rhythm, whatever, stuff like this, we change a little bit positions and all this kind of stuff. That's how it is. And now we talk about that these players that make not enough pressure on the first 11, are not close enough, cannot play. Oxlade-Chamberlain, if he's not in your first 11, he played incredible games for this club. He won pretty much alone against City, if you want, a year or so ago. So, and he's not a worse footballer since then. It's just not easy always to be in this moment there. But I cannot judge people or players because of a game which the whole team is not performing great. I see them in training, and I know that they are more than options for me, and that's really good. Are there players out there on the market who could help us as well? Probably yes. This is a challenge for us to improve a really good football team, but the time is a challenge as well. So again, we can go back to that. Nobody knows exactly what the future will hold for all of us. So how can we make decisions, really expensive decisions about how we will deal with it? This team is how it is good. That doesn't mean we will not strengthen. We don't want to strengthen it. If we have to, and we have the opportunity, and if we have the financial resources or whatever, then it will always happen, and we will always try. But in a moment, it's a difficult time. But this team makes pressure on each other by themselves internally. The training quality is really, really, really important and high. And that's why I spoke about Adam Lallana, because he had very important games for us. But what he did on a training ground, that was absolutely exceptional. If the young players talk about the most important things in the future, what happened in their first 2 years, they will mention Adam Lallana 100%. Not only him, but him as well. Because the way these guys train and the attitude they show in each session, that is an example for all the others. So again, this is a difficult year for all football clubs in the world, and I don't think it's a time where we just talk about transfers and stuff like this, like the rest around us wouldn't have happened. It's just not possible, at least not for us. We cannot do it like this. Other clubs maybe can, but this club is needed in a specific way, and this is our way, and here we are. Is it the best way? I don't know, but it's ours, and we will probably stick to that.